Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the treats
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We got you.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns, your draft special day 3 reaction. I'm Marcus Dash. Right there in the middle is our guy, Dunstradamus, Jason Dunn, former Chiefs tight end. And on the right there is my brother, Teja Dash. Guys, the draft is now complete. The Chiefs, they had a chance to have the Mr. Relevant pick, but instead they moved up to get Brashard Smith. And we'll get into how great of a move that was. But Chiefs draft is over. I'd like to shout out everybody who has been tweeting at us asking if Brett Veach runs our account, if he's the one feeding us information. Unfortunately not, but it would appear that way since we've pretty much called almost all these picks that we've seen over the last 3 days. So that's pretty special that we were able to do that for you guys. But guys, I am ecstatic. I'm honestly seeing a lot of mixed reviews from some of the fans, which is interesting because all the experts are saying the Chiefs got an A in this draft. But I'm curious to see how you guys are feeling as we close out day 3 of the 2025 NFL draft. JD, Tage, how are you feeling before we kind of dive into the individual picks?
I feel great. I feel absolutely excited to see the direction where this team is going. I think they went ahead and filled a lot of spots that they wanted to, they needed. And I think this young talent of group of guys coming in are going to come in and play immediately. I think they come in and they contribute. So there's a lot of guys that's talented that we just drafted. And so I'm excited to see these guys play. And so first off, congratulations to each and every one of those guys that got drafted. This is a tremendous honor and a privilege to be able to come on into the NFL. And this is one of those things that you've been working all your life to try to get to. And so you just achieved greatness right now. And so the thing is, they just had to maintain that. But for each and every guy that came in, I know they're excited. I know their family's excited. But like I said before, man, congratulations to each and every one of those guys. And so welcome to the kingdom. So if you have a chance to check us out, we'll reach out to a few of you guys, see if we can get you here on the show to kind of talk about you a little bit and see, we'll kind of go from there. But other than Marcus, I think we had an incredible draft. It was tremendous. It really was. So I'm pleased. Well done, Chiefs.
Tage, just overall thoughts on the draft and just in general, any thoughts?
Just awesome. I'm surprised to see us trade those last 2 picks to move up, but not surprised once I saw who it was for. I just think it was a brilliant job overall of navigating the strengths of the different rounds, the players of need, positions of need. And just amazing. We traded that first, second round to move up, and then we traded the 2 later sevenths to basically go back to where we would have picked, almost around that same area, to get a guy that would have fallen to us if we just stayed there. So it was just great navigating, and just as far as us calling things, just hard work pays off for everybody, I think.
Yeah. Are you guys surprised that we were able to, because we talked about before we got on, but these experts, they post these things out, right? They have their top 300 players, and it's a giant list, right? 300 players. We did a show for the last 7 weeks on Mondays where we did about 2 each week. I think I added it up to about 45 players that we talked about, and we were able to nab down talk about all 7 of the 45 guys, 7 of the guys that we drafted. The 45 guys we talked about, 7 of them were the guys that Chiefs drafted. And I think that's pretty impressive because that's a pretty good percentage there where, we're not doing a top 200 list. We just did 45 guys.
Well, I tell you this, okay? I'm a guy that's been around football for a long time. I played in the NFL. I've been to combines. I coach these guys that's coming into the league. I've had guys that I've coached, in high school and college that's in the NFL presently, at this day. I've done a lot of evaluation in film. So I want to say I'm right there with the pros as far as like what I know is good on film. And so if I'm sitting there knowing what the Chiefs need, and I start doing kind of a deep dive and evaluation on the guy, I'm just going to tell you from all my experience of what I know would work. And so everybody that we got, there's no question about it. I think, Tage and Marcus both, man, I think because we do such a good job. And I don't want to, one thing I don't want to do is downplay what we do, okay, on this show. All right. You're getting some real guys out here who do a real evaluation that goes deep into it. I seen Tage look. That's why Tage looks like that. Tage has been in the cave for the last 2 months, going deep into getting these guys in evaluation. Man, I mean, he's been ripping it up through and through and through, right? And so, with his hard work, Marcus, with as well as yours, you do a lot of the scouting and stuff because you do watch college football. For me myself. I've just used my experience, like I said, of just being a football player, being a coach, coaching college, also too going into NFL offices, talking to these guys and know what these things are. And Tage in itself, man, just the hard work and effort he just put in. And so I know he does his due diligence, man. That's what it is. So I think we do a good job over here, man, at Chiefs Concerns. And I think we were on top of it because we see some things that the Chiefs needed. We start bringing guys up that I think that was going to work in this system. And it just happened to be what it was, right? There was guys that we liked. We didn't get into just guys that we liked because we liked them and it was a popularity contest. We felt like these guys fit the mold of what the Chiefs wanted and they were looking for and what they coveted. Whether it goes from Josh Simmons to Jalen Royal, right? And Bassa and all those guys. I mean, we were talking about these guys from the evaluation process. And we were saying this, Mark, we were talking about there was guys that was, in the media and stuff that was saying what the Chiefs needed. They were far off. I'm like, why are you getting a guard in the first round or second? And I was like, okay.
Even after we got Simmons, they were still mocking us.
Yeah.
Hard in the second round.
Right. I'm like, what's up with this? So it didn't make any sense, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like I said, man, well done, Dash Brothers, for putting this thing together. Like I said before, put the hard work that y'all put in. And then also, too, man, the people out here, y'all talking about different ones, throwing us different names to kind of look at and see what we wanted, So I think it's a concerted effort, collaboration.
I mean, we almost nailed the exact 5th round pick that we were going to trade for. We were like 5 or 6 away from that. I mean, we knew we would have a 5th round pick. I don't know how they'd get it. But yeah, I think it's a combination of, I think if you want like Chief draft analysis, watching any kind of draft show is not going to give it to you. I would highly recommend against that. And this is someone who has like 3 or 4 go-to draft prospect shows that I love and swear by. And I love them for what they provide in analysis. They do deep dive way more than I could ever have time for. If I was living like the Groundhog Day life of just like living the same day over and over, I don't think I could watch that much film on these guys. But they do a great job of it. And you got to kind of pluck based on how well you know your own team. We know our team. We know we're not surface BS fans, right? Like, we know our stuff. You have to deep dive past the surface. You have to kind of let go of being attached to players and liking. Maybe it's actually good that I'm not a big college football fan because I can just I step in, I like navigate and then bail. Right? I don't have a connection to these guys. I don't care about any of that stuff. So I just look at from a GM perspective who might be gone, where you might have to pivot to. Know your team, how your cap's structured. We're so top heavy. You have to make tough decisions all over the place. And that Tyreek Hill trade really prepared all of us for just making tough decisions all over the place. So that I got to say in a million mock drafts, because now that they're accurate, because they're not at all. Now that the draft played out, they're not. Like there's guys available now that were taken like the 2nd and 3rd round of mock drafts. So they're not accurate, but you get to see certain how certain positions fall and how many guys at a certain position are going to be around somewhere. And that's where you kind of start researching certain people. Just because you think as long as you nail who you're going to get in the beginning, and we got it pretty good with tackle, we're like, we thought if Simmons is there, we're going him. That kind of like spreads out the rest of the draft from there on out. You get to kind of navigate the rest of it. So,
yeah, I mean, knowing the needs of the team, I think is a big thing. Like you said, there's mocks, these expert mocks, and they don't make any sense. But that's why we do what we do, because we know there's a need for it. We know there's a need for real Chiefs insight into the draft.
There was a really good draft analyst in the middle of his live show. I think they were about to announce our pick, and he was about to talk about it. And he was saying who we should have taken, and he was listing out the lack of DNs we had. And someone in their chat had to remind him that we re-signed Omenihu, and he didn't know that. So that's just a good example of it. He's trying to prognosticate and predict who we're going to pick, not knowing we re-signed our starting DN back. That's a big piece of information that you're not using, right? So, I mean, it happens. I'm not dogging him. He's a great analyst, but he's doing this for 32 teams. I couldn't do this for 32 teams. It's insane.
Madness. Yeah,
that's crazy. There's way too much. My head would explode. So, yeah.
But that's why you have, NFL teams have the scouting department, and you got a whole department just for this in itself. So that tells you everything you need to know. So,
yeah. So obviously, guys, draft is officially over now for the entire NFL. So you guys tweeted us, but you can do that as well. But in the chat, please let us know what UDFA news. I'll try to monitor it as we go along with the show and talk about our day 3 selections. But yeah, let us know if you guys see anything in the UDFA market as we are on the show, because we got to talk about the guys tonight. And we'll begin with our first one, a guy that we talked about. Teja, that was one of his prospects that he brought up, was Jalen Royals. Jalen, Kansas City Royals, coming to Kansas City. Not a more perfect name than this guy to come to Kansas City, which is pretty cool. But guys, what were your thoughts? Obviously, a receiver was one of the ones we talked about. There's a guy who did fit a mold for us, and now we got another dog in the receiver room. And Steve Smith was raving about him. A lot of experts loved him. What was your guys' thoughts on this addition?
I'll tell you what, man, the level of his talent, I thought he would go a lot earlier than what he did, especially, to us. I'm so excited that we got this guy. And he's a big time, big play receiver, runs great routes, great hands. He loves to compete. He attacks the football. And so when you have a guy like this, that kind of he kind of reminds like a size of it, like a Juju, right? The younger, Juju could come in here, get some reps, come in and play right away. He could come in immediately and catch some footballs for us and do very well. So we don't quite know what it's going to be with Rashid Rice and whatnot, but a guy like this who is hungry to play, who knows how to run great routes. I've seen, at least for Utah, how they was running a lot of the mesh concept, kind of running a whole lot of different man. He understands man and zone, how to get open, using his body to shield other guys off to catch the football. I think, man, this is a great pick for us. I love Jalen Royals coming here to the Chiefs. I think that's one hell of a pick. That's one hell of a pick, man. We needed a guy that wasn't going to just be a guy. He's just not another guy. He's not. He's a guy that's going to be a playmaker. That immediately he comes in, he could probably be a wide receiver 2 on any other team. The fact that we got 3 guys on here who are hell of some receivers, he's going to fit right there in the mold for what we need for a long time. So I like this. I like this pick.
Teja, obviously you're a big fan of this pick. So what were your thoughts on this?
First, I want to talk about how many player comps he has, and they're all over the place, which is it says a lot about him, and I'll explain why he has so many. So Jaden Reed, Pierre Garçon, Mike Wallace, Rashee Rice, Chris Godwin, and what was the other one? Jermaine Kearse. Just all over the place. And the reason why that is because, and I think one of the shows I was watching said this might have worked against him. He does so many things well, but once you get past a certain point of the draft, you notice, and I think Charles Davis talked about this. People are drafting for like a skill set, a certain thing a guy does. Like they have a defining characteristic about them. Oh gosh, he's huge, or he is great at press, or he is just great straight line speed. He's a deep threat. Like they do one thing, and the teams are just trying to tackle that one skill set they need. They need to cross it off more so than a position, more so than anything else. It's like we need that thing on our team. We're missing this, right? He doesn't really have that. He does everything so well. He doesn't really have a lot of weaknesses, and when you listen to people start to just because they have to say weaknesses when they talk about a guy, of course, it's 2025. It's like almost nitpicking, right? Because he doesn't create the huge Kyle Williams or other great receivers in the draft, like separation. But that's when I was listening to them talk about him weeks and weeks and weeks ago. That's what drew me to him. It was the fact that a lot of these guys aren't going to create that kind of separation in the NFL. So that separation you created in college, it's not going to happen. No. So if that's what you're relying on, if you're relying on getting 3 to 5 yards on, a guy who is going to be a UDFA, you're doing that against in college, that's not going to work against the typical norm cornerback. What I liked about Royals was he doesn't create that separation. He's just incredible at keeping position. Mm-hmm. And that's a skill set you can learn and keep and hone in on, right? Yeah. So once a guy is behind him and he's got that position, the way he attacks the ball and boxes people out with his body, and he's so aggressive and nasty getting to the ball, cornerbacks can't get around him. They can't do it. He has that innate skill to do that. So the French line, it just does everything so well. And that's why I also heard from one of the podcasts I listened to that Utah State runs a really wonky offensive system. They have them split really out wide, like near the sideline. And they're like, you don't do him any favors. Like the cornerback has such an advantage when a receiver is lined so close to the out of bounds line that like it limits him, right? They almost think they're saying that like how much better he's going to be in the pros when they just kind of just let him loose and find out what he's great at, what he excels at, and just exploit that and let him be him, right? Instead of being like, okay, you're going to play over here because this is how we do things here at Utah State. This is how we do. So he's not even like near his ceiling. He's strong versus press. He's got like the body type. He's pretty built. He's rock solid. They call him Brick House. He's like a Jamar Chase type body, right? And he played with a foot injury this year. So all the stuff he did, all the stats and the second round grade people were giving him, did it with a foot injury. It's going to be healthy by training camp. Catches the ball away from his body, over defenders. I'm going to look up this. I want to look up this highlight that I heard Sam Monson talked about. I think it was him. It was against UNLV. I need to look it up. He caught a ball over the middle, and the dude like nailed him. But Royals got up, went right back to the huddle, and the dude from UNLV got taken off the field. Like that's how solid he is. The kind of guy who's getting exploited, hit, and like he gets up and he's like, "I'm good." It's so like Steve Smith back in the day. Like you'd see Steve Smith get nailed, and then the player hitting him would be woozy, and Steve Smith's like, "I'm good, let's go." I just love that. Like he's not necessarily built like an outside receiver. He is built like that. He doesn't have that height that you usually want, but he can play outside just because he's so strong and he can take the press. He can play the power slot. He can just do so many things. He's 18 of 27 in contested catches this year. He just got so many ball trackings there. I read Devontae Smith type ball tracking in the air, so he can catch the deep ball. Right, you can just put him everywhere, and I just think that's such an advantage for what we want to do. I just think it's what a great fit it was, and yet again, the people saying like, "Oh, you let blank go to the Chiefs," and I think that's. Yeah.
Well, that's why I was kind of using a comparison of like a young Juju Smith-Schuster because he has that build to him. He's bulky, He's 6 foot, was a 205. I mean, Juju's just a little bit bigger than him. But when you have a guy that can absolutely like rule the middle of the field, and I think the reason that they probably ran at set out there in Utah is because they wanted to expand everybody. That meant the defense had to expand also too, and then kind of shrink everything else, find the windows and holes. Where our offense, we can utilize him, and what we're going to do is we're going to shrink and then expand. And that's what we do great. I mean, that's when any of those things they really do is like what you do is you want to stretch the defense vertically and horizontally. And he fits right into our mode. So now all of a sudden, like you said, you have somebody, a comp like a Rashid Rice or a Pierre Garçon or one of those guys. I love the comps, what you were sitting there saying. But hey, Rashid, if he's out for a little bit, now you're just not using little guys to do it. You got this guy right here, big body guy, like you said, who's great with the body control, who just post up on guys and just get open. And he has great hands. So when you go and you just look at him on film, man, you can see everything what they were raving about. This is, like I said before, man, this is just a great pick. Any of those guys are very happy that they got this type of talent in here. Seriously. So very, very, very versatile.
We have so many guys just to toss the ball to.
Yeah.
Like this is what we've wanted for such a long time. And this is going to help Patrick so much. Just to have so many guys to be like, oh, you think you got Rashid Rice's short game down? You cover 2 of his slants, so you're gonna shade on his side. Okay, well now we got Royals doing that on the other side now, or we got Hollywood, or we have Xavier Worthy doing crossers. I mean, I haven't even brought up Kelsey yet. It just or another guy we drafted later on. We have so many guys on the field. You're gonna have to keep an eye on, right? And I don't want to say we're battle tested against any injury because you can have a really bad luck. But if a guy goes down, we can absorb that now this year. To be honest, I don't want that to happen, but we can. We have that kind of depth now.
And we'll be potentially dealing with that right out the gate if Rashid does get suspended for those first 4 games or whatever, how long it is. So we'll might have to deal with that right out the gate, which that's fine. We have the guys to do that now.
Yeah.
Oh, another comp for him, the smoothness of him, how he makes it look so easy and fluid. Amari Cooper.
I can see that.
Just a wide range of comps. Like, look at all those comps I said. You had some like underneath gadgety guys. You had some slant yak monsters. You had some guys who can go deep. It's crazy.
What's weird to me is how he fell, because I remember when we did our draft show or the prospect show, and I think we said second and third round, that was kind of where we needed to get him.
Yeah.
And then the way the draft falls, it was 4th round, and I see it. One of the first picks, Jaguars get Chimeri Dyke from Florida, and that's a guy that I saw was going in round 6, round 7. I'm like, wait, this guy's going first in this round. Oh, we're not gonna get Royals, and Royals is one of the guys I had in my mind going into that 4th round. Like, can he fall to us? And then he ended up falling to us. I was like, holy crap! Like, why do you think he fell? If you guys didn't make it,
teams are just in love with certain guys. They are, and like Teja was saying, if they're envisioning a guy fitting into their system and their mode to do particular things, they're gonna go out for him. So that's what it is. And I think sometimes you start seeing some of these names that they get drafted. Early I was just like, oh, wow, they took him. I'm just like, well, shoot, I guess for them it works, right? For their system. That's why when we were sitting there talking about it over the years, the Chiefs have a type. We know we have a type. We ain't looking so Joker 6'5", 220 going. We just, we ain't going to use those guys. We don't need it. So, we want guys that do have a particular body type. And so, and a skill set. And so those are guys we get. So,
and if you want, like I said a minute ago, once you get past a certain point of the draft, you're not talking about like the guys in this draft. It was so much about need. I said this like a few days ago and last week because it was so even after like pick 25 from like 25 to like 150 that at that point you're looking at your scouts, you're looking at your guys in your war room, and you're like, we need that deep threat. And between a guy who's probably a better straight up deep threat or a guy who's good at just a better overall receiver like Royals, you're going to probably lean toward just the guy who's deep there because we don't need a guy who can do some of the things Royals does. That's not what we want. We don't need we have X, Y, and Z for that. We need a guy who could straight up just run it every time, catch a deep ball. That's it. So we want a player Z, right? That's what they do. Go over him. that's just what happens for a lot of the draft. And guys that are and teams that just value BPA and overall just studs, like just good football players are going to help you win. They prosper. Us, the Ravens do that. The Eagles do that. They fall less into the whole, we want this kind of guy and we're going to pigeonhole ourselves. They're just like, I want a good player. I don't know what's going to happen from one year to the next. I want a really good player on my team.
You're going to question Noah John Marshall. He missed a bunch of games, right? 5, I think. He missed a few games.
Yeah.
Foot injury.
Foot injury, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also, too, I know we're seeing some people, or I've seen online chatter that the Chiefs think will get a tight end this draft. And I remember kind of the big thing we talked about on one of our many shows about the draft was being able to not necessarily get an eye for an eye, go get a tight end to replace Travis Kelce, but there's different traits that receivers can bring that can replace what a little bit what Travis Kelce does. And Jalen Royals having him, because I've seen other people saying we should have gone running back early where instead the Royals pick. We didn't need another receiver because we have Worthy, we have Rice. But again, this is probably Kelce's swan song. We do need to kind of, fill in the gaps where we can, do it now. And obviously cost control guy too, right? For the next 4 years on a cheap deal. Does Royals kind of replicate some of the things that Kelce can do that does for us?
I don't think so. And the reason I say that, I'm not saying just taking up Kelce stuff, but we know we still have Hollywood Brown for 1 year deal. Okay, so we don't know how that's going to work out. Rasheed Rice is going to be out for we don't know how long that's going to be either, right? So it could be 4 games, 8 games. Heck, we don't know if they're going to just bring the hammer down and have him miss the entire season. You just don't quite know. So why don't you have at least that card, sitting in your deck, just waiting to pull out, especially somebody that's more of a body type like a Rasheed Rice that can use it. Now, can he do certain things that Travis can? Sure. But there's things that tight ends just do because they're just bigger bodies that is always a matchup, nightmare for linebackers and safeties. I still think that we could still probably find a guy. And I would still think we still got Robert Tonyan here. Okay, we still got Noah Gray. We still got Jared Wiley. And so if they're fine with that, then cool. I like the Fedone from Nebraska because I was looking for some of that, like that more physical tight end, somebody that was blocking. And I think we miss a Blake Bell. We miss that guy that can go in and actually just, as a somewhat blocking tight end. Fedone, I think for us would have fit that bill. Somebody else went ahead and picked him up. But there's other guys out here that could probably, maybe fit that mold as well from a tight end standpoint. I'm sure we'll pull somebody in from as a free agent, especially from in the draft. There's still, like you say,
there's some good UDFA tight ends out there, man.
There's a lot of still some really good tight ends.
I'm looking at 2 in particular I would love to sign, man.
Yeah.
One of them's the number 8 tight end in the PFF.
Really? Who was that?
Eurosec from Georgia.
Okay. Yeah.
He just didn't get utilized this year. They didn't really throw to the tight end.
Yeah.
But 6'4", 250, athletic enough to play outside. A decent blocker too.
Yeah, I like him. Luke Lashley more. Laura Zingzer. I like him. I would take him over the Georgia tight end.
I don't think he's there though. It's him and the top ones are him and Brenningstool.
Yeah. So.
And Conyers. Yeah, Conyers is out there too.
Texas Tech. Yeah. So, but just what you were, kind of, talking about Marcus. But I think that's the great part is he has a versatility. If you needed to bring him in for some of those things, sure you could. But I don't think he's like that one that would, replace Travis Kelce's thing that they do. Just for the simple fact, because I know that the Chiefs, because of the type of tight ends we got, we do love 12 and 13 personnel. I think that's one of our weapons that we have, having a guy like that. So we just had to see.
Yeah. But all in all, I mean, for some of the people who were saying we didn't need a draft receiver there, I mean, that was not only was that value, not only was that BPA to me, but that was also, I mean, we talked about it, Rice is going to be out, missed the first 4 games. And he's coming back from an injury. Hollywood Brown's on a 1-year deal. I mean, and Rice went in 2 years gonna be free agent. Is that so? I mean, like things come up. So I mean, you need to get that, and the value is there. 100%. That was a slam dunk of a draft pick right there.
Receiver, you need to keep replenishing. Just keep replenishing. And Veach said that. We're always going to look at opportunities for receivers. We're just always going to keep doing that. We're going to keep swinging.
You got to.
You have to. You have to. It's just this. Because receivers can also fall off a cliff real fast, man. It can happen before you know it. And you just got to stay deep. You can't have enough of them. And they're expensive. They're pricey.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, we know, look, we're going to throw the ball down the field. Andy Reid loves throwing the football. And you got Patrick Mahomes, okay, most talented quarterback in the NFL. So, shoot, you got to keep the weapons around you. Have to.
I think you can get just to quickly answer your question on my end, Marks, what you said. No, I don't think Royals necessarily fits that. I do love that he gets position and he can find a soft spot, get position, and keep position away from a guy guarding him, covering him. I do love that aspect. That's a little Kelsey-ish. But I think the defining Kelsey characteristic in the last 5-7 years is that defenders have no idea where he's going. Even if they're on him, white on rice. It's just they just don't know. He has that little shimmy, and he finds this. It sticks the hard foot in there and finds a soft spot. We didn't really get that. That's just a crazy ability that not many guys have. Ironically enough, kind of has that. I'd say Restrepo, who we just kind of talked about recently. He actually kind of has it. He's not big, but he does have that. Because I'll tell you what, you got to be special getting open if you're running a 4.7 40. And you're 5'9".
Yeah.
If you're 5'9", you're running a 4.7 40, and you're getting open for 80, 90 catches, you can shake people off you. That is the thing you can do. Now he doesn't have the 40 time, but he has that kind of skill set, right?
Yeah, the skill set, yeah, I get it, but that 40 time is the reason why he went from a potential round 3 guy to
I know.
Yeah. So
JD Kingmo asks, y'all think we can start doing more 4 wide now with the guys we got in the room?
Ooh.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. Yeah, of course.
Got the personnel for it, and of course, Mahomes is talking about bringing back that fireworks offense this year. He's already talking about it, and that was before the draft. Now that he's got the weapons, the Royals, and then one guy we're going to get to later on in the draft.
I was going to say, imagine 4 wide, him in the backfield, and splitting him out wide or something. Ooh,
yeah.
Man. Oh boy.
Yeah. We got a contribution. Appreciate the contribution, Amda, and appreciate the contribution, Slam and Sammy as well. Amda, for Teja, did we draft or sign any free agents with character concerns?
Actually, not that I didn't know about this, but they were alluding to Lott having some. I did know about Simmons. It wasn't. See, this is what we talked about on the side after our show last week. Character concerns is so it's such a huge umbrella. It involves everything from breaking the law on a felony to skipping a practice. That's a huge range of things that falls into one umbrella, right? We have to kind of separate those things. Simmons was called out for maybe a lack of maybe maturity, but we're dealing with 20-year-olds. So maturity, okay, yeah. I'm not gonna have be my financial advisor at age 20. So nothing alarming, but yeah, maturity tags. That's not a big deal to me though.
Yeah, and Lott's one thing he got suspended. We talked about it last night. He got suspended for having an in-game violation of some sort, and they suspended him for a game. So nothing off the field. So I don't know where Charles Davis came out with that whole there's character concerns with him. I don't know where he got that from because there's
we know there's a leak in the Tennessee locker room with the whole Pierce stuff. So if nothing serious is coming out against Lott, that means it's not there, right? Because someone was singing about Pierce, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know who those are. And I heard Mel Kiper sit there and said some of that little video you showed about character concerns. I was sitting there that is absolute horse is what that was. And I'm just but then those concerns not there. I'm yeah, right. What the hell talking about? So
yeah, Kiper lost any little shred of credibility he had over the last 72 hours.
So I've been losing it.
Yeah, he has been.
Nothing need long on that.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go to our next guy, 5th round selection. This is interesting. We talk about our prognostication here on the show. We only talked about one linebacker on our prospect show, and this is the only linebacker that we talked about was Jeffrey Bassa. So if you guys watched our show 2 weeks ago on our prospect show, we talked about Jeffrey Bassa a little bit. We kind of did a little deep dive on the only linebacker we talked about. For the potential, Chanel's coming up, Tranquil's coming up, and we're going to have potential free agents there, and this is the guy to go to. And this guy fell massively on a lot of experts' charts. This guy fell big time. What did you guys make of Jeffrey Bassa from Oregon?
Well, I'll tell you what, kind of watching some of this video from the Senior Bowl, watching him out on the field, the combine, he's very athletic, has a lot of leadership qualities that you look for. And I think the Chiefs really wanted to get a guy that it wasn't any type of drop-off from those starting 3 to the next guys. And I think we've somewhat had some difficulties with the linebackers that we've had here behind, Tranquil, Bolton, and Chanel a little bit as far as like fitting in and just like being able to do well, or at least like not having any type of drop off. Not taking anything from Cochran and those guys. I think they did a hell of a job when they got in. But also too, what you could see was there was a little bit of drop off of talent wise, like covering the field, from sideline to sideline. You're not gonna have it with this guy. Boss is a guy, man, that could absolutely run. He can make plays. He can cover, tight ends. There's another thing that we have to worry about. You get a guy like this who can get right in your hip pocket and challenge the guy going up. And so I think he gives us all of those things that we really want in a linebacker. But more importantly, the way that he really speaks and how he talks out there on the field, you can see that coaches and everybody believe in him. Because of the leadership qualities. And let me say this, I think those things are lost this day and age, as far as like talking about some of the leadership qualities, especially kind of in this world today. It really is. And I think, to be honest with you, I'm just going to put this out there. I think that might have been like one of the concerns they had with Shedeur Sanders. Seriously. And sometimes if you don't necessarily display it all the time, then it's an issue and a problem. The reason the Chiefs moved up is because they could trust a guy like this, and that's it's very evident, as far as like what they did to get up there to get him. Now, just finishing up on Shedeur Sanders, I think how it happened for him. I think this is a good lesson. It's a lesson learned, and I think this is something that will humble him to get him ready. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be pushing for him to come out there and absolutely light it up. And everybody's been talking about him and all these different things and whatnot. But I think sometimes, we got to realize and understand, man, how much character does count. And leadership character is absolutely vital, especially in that position when you lead. Now, like I said before, and I think sometimes when you see these things out here today in this day and age, we forget about that. We don't quite hold that in high quality and regard as we should. So having a guy like this, man, I think, man, is a great pickup for us.
And here's the video that JD was alluding to as far as some of his leadership.
But seeing how Jacques is a defensive coordinator, what was it like to just work with him today?
It was great. He was telling me to, to even be better and better, get guys in the huddle, get them aligned and, assigned, and then make sure, all 11 are on the same page. So that's my responsibility, and I'm taking a lot of pride in that, so huge shout out to the coaches for trusting and believing in me with the green dots. So, I'm excited.
Actions made. We got a red zone tomorrow, right? More situations. We'll keep on stacking days.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead. You got that.
Hey, simple. Just like Coach said, keep stacking days, bro. We only got a couple days to build a culture. What you gonna leave with your legacy? Seniors, this your last go around wearing this helmet. You gotta think about that. Leave a legacy. Let's go. Hey, how long job today? Hey, compete on me. Compete on 3. 1, 2, 3. Compete.
For a guy that's played in the Senior Bowl, when you have everybody come in from all different colleges, different walks of life, different cultures and whatnot, for a guy to come in and huddle and break it down means a lot. It means a huge thing because you don't know who all these guys are, right? And the coaches had to see something in him to say, I want you to be the guy to break us down. I want you to be the guy that's going to be a leader for us for the Senior Bowl because it's everybody. it's everybody. And so, to me, when I seen that film, I said, shoot, that's exactly the type of guy that you need.
And Dan Lanning at Oregon absolutely loved Bassa. He was like the leader, one of the leaders on the defense. He said he wants to attack his game. He doesn't want you to tell him all the things he's great at. He wants to be coached. He coaches the guys around him as well. Beyond his years, wise player. You listen to him talk. He's got the confidence. I loved hearing him. I think that's so important. I know people see things like, might start out as a special teamer. Well, that's because we got pretty good linebacker depth. We got 3 good linebackers right there. I mean, unless someone gets injured, he shouldn't have to play. And most people aren't drafting their, 4th round pick, fifth round pick to come in and start day one of a Super Bowl contending team. That's not normal. People don't usually do that. So I wouldn't want that right away. And I wouldn't want it for him. That's not fair. But to come in and learn, he'll play snaps because the way the Chiefs cycle in and move our linebackers around, they were talking about this. There's a great piece on the PFF review on him. They're like, he's so perfect for the Chiefs because the Chiefs they're not the old school, 3 linebackers play all game and that's it. You have Bolden plays all game pretty much. Mm-hmm. And then you have Chenal, who's specialized as the run stuffer blitzer, and Tranquil's usually the pass linebacker, right? And that Bassa's eventually probably going to take over for that. Whether it's he'll work in and definitely have snaps. I think Bassa's, you're going to definitely see him on the field this year on defense on top of full-time special teams. He just will be on there. He was playing they'd ISO him and the slot receiver sometimes and guard tight ends. That's crazy. I mean, just one-on-one, straight up one-on-one, because he's got the eye of a safety and he's got the coverage background of a safety, but he's just now built like a linebacker. He's going to maybe gain some more weight. Maybe he'll get an NFL program now, but you have an heir apparent, and now you have the flexibility, again, making tough decisions of the future. You have the flexibility. You have a guy who can come in. Let's say Tranquil has a bad day. Let's say we can't get someone to guard a certain tight end, which we had problems with last year, or running backs out of the backfield. Yep. Now you're you know what? Let's see what Bassa can do in there. Let's get him out there. And you have a guy who can do that.
Trust him. Yeah,
you have the flexibility. Yeah. And then when Tranquil's contract comes up, and we have a get out year next year, I think we save $5 to $7 million by, I think it's $4 to $7 million. I forgot what it is. That money might have to be allocated to Trent McDuffie or to Karlaftis. So again, tough decisions. Drafting guys like this a year early to get him up to speed so he can eventually just take over for a guy who's on his way out. That's really important. You can't just draft a guy the same year you're getting rid of somebody. It's just not. It doesn't work out that way. It just So I love it. I think it's great. I think he's smooth. And even for a coverage guy, he's not just a finesse linebacker. He sticks his nose in there. He gets dirty. He comes downfield, he's not the most twitchy, but he's a functional, athletic linebacker is what he is. And I'm so happy we got him.
Slam and Sammy says, I learned Bassa played wide receiver in high school before playing safety. Bassa will be our dime.
Could be.
I mean, he's athletic. So, I mean, they got him for a reason because, we've seen over the last year or so, it's been kind of rough guarding tight ends or running backs. That's why every week on our betting show, we were picking running backs and tight ends that they have over 2 catches and over 20 yards every game.
Yeah. And he could be situational, like you said, bring him in. He could definitely come in and do that. So, also, too, man, I think also what we don't want to miss out on is he does a great job at making tackles in the open field. That's when you have a linebacker who's almost a sure tackle open field. That's another guy that you want. So,
yeah,
it kind of reminds me of 2 linebackers, man, I played with. He does, yeah.
Who?
Sean Barber, and of course Donnie Edwards.
Oh, that's high praise right there, JD.
Very high praise, I'm telling you.
Really high praise.
Yes.
That's big time.
Mm-hmm.
Did Sean text you his thoughts on the pick?
No.
Okay.
Text me on other things. I'll text him right now and find out what he thinks.
So Mike Brennan, who just said that's my logic. Well, I thought he was going to get a safety. We just signed one, actually, UDFA.
We signed
Glendon Miller from Maryland, free safety.
Maryland safety, Glendon Miller, yeah.
9.27 RAS.
Athletic, okay.
Athletic, free safety, roamer, what it looks like. So
there you go.
Yeah, it's a start.
Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, so Jeffrey Bassa. GP got some good ones. You call him the final Bassa. So that's a good word right there. It's not the final boss, the final Bassa.
Blame it on the Bossa Nova, baby.
That's a good one. I like that. All right, so our next guy that we drafted tonight was the one that another guy we talked about in our show. Another guy that we talked about, Brashard Smith, running back from SMU, traded our Mr. Relevant pick, our mid-7th round pick, to come up in the 7th round to get him, as all running backs were falling or going away at that point. I mean, Damian Martinez, I think, just got picked 2 picks prior to that, and we run on in there to get Brashard Smith. Love this one. As we talked about on our draft show, running back, he went to University of Miami, was a receiver, transfers, goes to the portal, goes to SMU, becomes a running back. Guy runs a 4.3 40. Just stellar. Guy can catch the ball like a receiver still, as he is. But yeah, just in a running back's body. So a lot of room for growth for him. Obviously, 7th round pick. A lot of room for growth. Still new to the position, but he showed his stats this past year at SMU, his highlights at SMU. He shows he is a big play guy, the home run hitter that we've been talking about, a guy you can go 88 out the gate on a screen, or a little draw play and take it to the house. So love that we finally got that in this draft. What do you guys make the Brashard Smith draft pick?
Speed. That's what I think. Right there. You get a guy like that who can run like he can run, can go hit his head on the goalpost. That is the guy that you need. And so he was the two that we were talking about, because I brought up Tootin for one, and then Brashard Smith was the other guy. I think you were talking about Marcus. And so, like, the comparison of having a guy that was a little bit more refined than Tootin, right? He'd been, that's his kind of his position, where also to Brashard Smith gives you that element of being like a receiver, being out there, in kind of the open field, to kind of running routes if you need to. So he could probably run the angle route, angles, and all those different things that you want him to do. And so screens, all those, man, he could do it all. And so he's not just a guy you hand the ball off to. He's just not. Swing passes, whatever you need to do, get the ball in his hand, man, then let him just make a play. I love it. I'm glad we was able to get him. This kind of, for me, he's the type of player that was particular for certain offenses. He couldn't go everywhere. Every team just didn't see the value in him, right? Because he felt so to us. And so I think the Chiefs were sitting there waiting around knowing this, like, hey, wait a minute. Teams ain't really seeing the value in him like we are. So why not just wait around, get what we need to get, okay? Our priority as far as like what we need to fill. And if he's left over, let's go get him, okay? So I think, man, they did a great job just kind of waiting. I'm glad they got him here. He's going to be a hell of a player for us, man. And he's going to get us some reps on us too. He's going to challenge a lot of guys, man. So I don't know how it's going to shake out when you get to training camp and you start talking about a 53-man roster. It's going to get real tight real quick, especially with this type of talent in there too. There's going to be some, there's going to be some hurt feelings. I'm just going to say that, okay? We don't quite know how it's going to be, but you might start seeing some things that you're like, wait a minute, hold on, how'd that happen? This guy right here leans on everybody in that room.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, too. It's like you talk about that room. He adds a different type of skill set that none of those other guys had. And that's essentially why we were targeting guys like Tootin, guys like Brashard Smith, because that guy doesn't exist and hasn't existed in the last few years. I've seen some Jerick McKinnon. I could see some early days Jerick McKinnon vibes from him. I see that. Obviously, before all the injuries mounted up and whatnot. But I see that. I can definitely see that. someone said he returns kicks. And also, that was another thing, too. Veach had made mention last week during his presser that he was looking at wide receivers and running backs who can also return kicks as well. And that was one that he did primarily at University of Miami when he was still a receiver. And then when he goes to SMU, I don't think he returned any kicks at SMU. He was just straight up running back. So, I mean, like, he does a lot of things. And like you said, JD, not a lot of offenses are going to be kind of conducive to a guy like this. And he's coming to the right place.
Who was one of our better kick returners last year? Y'all remember?
Was it Nico?
Nico, but remember
Pirine. That's right.
I think they like having a guy like that with vision, especially running back, right? Former wide receiver, get the ball to him 4-3, he could get up through, giving him a spot, man. He will go. He will go. So yeah, if you have him on the roster as a return guy, and so you sitting over thinking, hey, this is the guy that we can utilize, all right, especially in that position, and have him on the field, maybe getting some reps, at running back, man, that's perfect. That's perfect. Joel Monster said no one. Now, P. Ryan, man, he got a couple good returns. He showed, if you remember. So,
yeah, and one thing before you go, Teja, I just want to say this. Just when I was doing research on him, like just when he moved, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, he wasn't a good enough a receiver." Now, like he was a good receiver, and I think the PFF numbers say that he was like a 97%. I think Teja would take the PFF numbers, but like. He was a good receiver. You watch the highlights, some of the catches he makes from a running back, and then you do the research like, oh, yeah, he was a receiver. Okay, it makes sense because he's making contested catches that a lot of running backs are making, going up for balls instead of, trying to catch it here like a running back would. I mean, he's a receiver who's playing running back now, and, like, he's special, and it's the ideal fit for him to come to Kansas City. So I'm sure when he heard that Andy Reid was the one making the call to go get him, I'm sure he was loving that. But the only thing, like I said on that show, again, he's still new to the position. He's kind of waits for things to kind of develop a little bit back there, but he's still new to the position. And blocking, right? Blockers, receivers stalk blockers out there, or they run their cornerbacks off. Not a lot of catching a linebacker coming at you, right? That's not he's not used to that. So that's one thing he'll have to kind of work through. But he's a willing blocker. Obviously, being a receiver, you do kind of do some stalk blocking back there. But yeah, he's gonna have to learn some things here and there. Obviously, 7th round pick, but only 1 year playing running back, lots of love and a lot of room for growth. So that's good. Tej?
He's a good example of what we were talking about earlier with when the draft, as it goes on and on and on, you see teams gravitate toward a certain skill set. And we weren't looking for the best all-around running back. If we were, we probably would have tried taking one earlier in the draft. What we wanted was a guy to take a couple of zone reads, a guy who can kick and punt and return, and a guy we can use as a versatile weapon on third down, a true third down back. This guy, I mean, you couldn't pick maybe a better guy in this draft. I mean, he is arguably running routes. He's arguably the best route running back in the draft. And that's from PFF. That's from 4 different breakdowns I've seen of him in the past 12 hours. Like he's not a cutter or dancer. He's just a take it and go. Beauty is also he only has 250 carries under his belt, so he is fresh. He's ready to go, baby. All right, so he is closer to a project, which probably is why he's there in the 7th round.
Yeah.
But we're not bringing him in to be our bell cow by any means, and those are his biggest knocks. Likely too small to handle an every down load. Thin build makes him easier to bring down on first contact. Well, I mean, he's not going to be our between the tackles guy, first of all, so that's not a problem. Limited in pass protection. I don't think we're going to keep him in there to be blocking anything anyway. I think he's going to be in there for a certain role. And I posted the Chris Johnson's breakdown, and that's his favorite. That's his favorite back in the draft. He called him his best do-it-all back in the draft. The closest thing to Gibbs in the draft. Maybe not tomorrow, but develop into that. Gibbs was Gibbs the moment he stepped on the field. Oh, yeah, that's the difference, right? This guy has to keep going to maybe get there, right? So I don't want to hear people think, oh, you're calling him Gibbs. No, he can get there, but he's got that type of ability. He can do that if he just keeps progressing, and he's going to a perfect place where that can happen because we're not going to force him to a position. He's going to take He's going to have kick and punts. He's going to have a couple of special plays here and there and third down mismatches. The different people I listened to about him, they said every time an opposing college defense tried to put a linebacker on him, they got fried. Forget about it.
I bet.
Forget about it.
Matchup. Why would you do that to that guy?
And the dude was saying, he goes, and that's not college. I'm not saying that's a college thing. He'll fry NFL linebackers. Don't try that in the NFL either. Yeah. So he's like, you have a guy who with that kind of mismatch, he's like going to an Andy Reid team. He's like, man, he's like, I just can't wait to see that because he's just got so much potential. And the word weapon just keep coming up over and over and over again. That's what we wanted. We didn't want, I don't think we wanted a bell cow. We have guys who can run between the tackles. We lost P. Ryan, didn't really replace it. Elijah Mitchell, yeah, I hope he can contribute, but he wasn't a guy you just throw a swing pass to. That wasn't his game, or run a route to. This guy can run routes. Like you can pull him. I mean, imagine having Rice, Hollywood, Worthy, and Royals out there. You have him, Brashard in the backfield, and you have him run a route against ISO linebacker that's guarding him. Forget about it.
That's a full-on 5 wide empty set, man.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's just, yeah, the possibilities, I'm sure they realize that because we like our late picks. So that was a big deal. And I looked at the value of that. We kind of took a little bath on that deal because at that stage of the game, 251 and 257 are both 1 point each. That pick that we traded up for was 1.2. So we gave up 0.8 in that deal, which is who cares when you get in a player like this? But it just goes to show you no one likes to lose in those deals. But it's like, let's get our guy and get the hell out of here. We don't need the 250s anymore. This is what we need. We cross off everything else. We'll try to get a run stuffer and UDFA. Let's go.
Demetrio Smith, angle routes all day out the backfield. I mean, shoot, you're talking about you can isolate him on anything. Shoot, get him up the seam, out route. Shoot, anything out in the flat. Anytime you see a man on him, swing the ball out to him immediately. I'll look right down the field. You see man, let him flare out, throw the ball to him, and just let him get busy. That's what I would do. I mean, shoot. At that point, you should be salivating with a guy like this. Like I said, especially if you're just going to use situational things. You don't want to come in, obviously he's not going to be a big pass blocker. That's not what you get him in there for. Not at all. Okay. Mm-hmm. You want to get out in space, throw the ball to him, and then just let him go do his thing. Let him go to work. So,
but he did run pretty well last year, by the way. His rushing and PFF grades were good. They were really good. So he actually ran between the tackles better than you would think based on what we're saying, like pure because there are guys in this draft who are pure third down backs in college and then will be a third down back in the NFL. He's someone who's we're projecting to do that because he's so raw at the position. But for being so raw, he ran pretty well. Some of his player comps are guys who run really well. Shades of Bucky Irving was one player comp by Bleacher Report. Tony Pollard was the comp for Sims that Sims gave him, right? And then you have PFS was Hines, which definitely seems more appropriate for him. I'd love to man. Hines in our offense. I mean, like that's exactly what you want, right? So his player comps are all over. He can actually develop into more of a runner when he gets we can take that time with him now. For now, to get him on the field as fast as possible, return game, trick, fun special plays, and some run routes.
See UDFA here, that another guy. So not a guy we drafted, but a guy we signed. That was another guy we talked about in the show. What that JD talked about was Clemson tight end. Was it Jake Brennanstool?
Yes,
Jake Brennanstool.
Yeah, Brennanstool. I hope that's true. I hope it. Yeah, per Charles Goldman, so I know it's good. Yes, sir.
That's great.
There it is.
That's a good grab, man.
Yes, sir. Hell of a grab.
That's a real good grab. That's our biggest name, definitely so far.
Yeah. Yes. Without a doubt.
JD, I want to talk about what he brings to people who didn't watch the prospect show a couple weeks back.
Oh man, athletic. He's a pass catching tight end. You put him out in the slot, he'll beat guys man zone, catches the ball really well. gets up the field, very crafty, just almost like Travis Kelce. I count him to more of like a Gesicki, but a little bit more tougher. And for him, he was like, yeah, he kind of likes how Gesicki plays his game. Gesicki knows how to get open. He's more of a receiving type of, tight end. He was a wide receiver. Well, he was a volleyball player, converted to a tight end. And Gesicki's been killing everybody out there. The difference is Gesicki ain't going to block a soul. He ain't going to do it, okay? Bring us through, we'll bring it. He's going to hit guys in the mouth. And so this is what I'm talking about. That's the 13 personnel right there that you're looking for. You're looking for a pass-catching tight end that can get open and learn from Travis Kelce. He is that guy. He's got great length and size, very athletic. Good enough to come out there, man, and win, one-on-one. So this is a hell of a pick. Look at 6'6", 241. Dude, he can play some ball. He can absolutely play some ball.
It's a good grab. I mean, dude, he was projected. I was seeing him in mock drafts get taken like the 4th to 6th rounds.
Yeah.
So I mean, we pretty much got our last 251 pick back.
Yeah.
That's part of why we did it. We're like, you know what? Let's trade it for Smith. Let's already start hammering out those UDFA deals right now. Let's get the hell out of here and just start. Because when they saw how much talent was up, they're like, you know what? We don't need to pick 251 and 257, dude. Like, look how many guys are out there. Let's just trade up, get our guy, and just start hammering deals out.
Yeah, and he'll go up and go get it too. He's a great, red zone threat. No question about it. G-Pick said, no, bro, Tiny is a good tight end. He is. Tiny's a good tight end. He just got the knee injuries that hurt him. Shoot, I love Tanya. I'm not out on him by no means. But as far as like getting up the field, catching the football, Tanya can't do. He doesn't have it to him anymore like he used to. I would, if Tanya can go in and block and do all those different things, he could catch the football. Tanya could catch the football. Very talented tight end. Very talented. But Jake bring us through, and then you got Jared Wiley and those guys. We got some daggone like our brother over there, Lance would say, skyscraper and cleats. That's what he call them, skyscraper and cleats. So, hey.
Do you think, because he talked about the packed RB room right now, that like Brashard being in there, it's going to be kind of uncomfortable for some people. Mm-hmm. Now, does Brandon still make it a little bit uncomfortable for some of the guys in that tight end room? You mentioned Jared Wiley. He was a day 3 pick as well last year. Day 3 doesn't mean you're locked to make the roster the next year at all. So does he make things uncomfortable in there as well? Having a guy like that come in there?
No, because we run multiple set tight ends. So we'll use a guy like this also too, man, on special teams. You got to play some special teams. If you're a 3rd or 4th tight end, you're going to have to play special teams.
A lot of tight ends, though.
Yeah, well, okay. So as far as I'm saying, the ones that's not, that's in there, like you said, yes, it is going to be looking around like, okay, can this guy come in and take somebody's job? Absolutely. Hendershot is still with us. Hendershot is a really good, tight end as well.
Tanyan, Hendershot, Wiley.
To my count, I have Kelce, Gray, Wiley, Tanyan, Brennan Stool, Hendershot, and Ferkser. That's 7 tight ends.
They'll get down to 4.
That's a grind.
Man,
I'll tell you what, man. Just make it do a seasonal reality show on that room. Just for the battle to get out of that one alive.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
And it's funny because Kelce be like, okay, one of y'all is supposed to be the heir apparent to me. All right.
Yeah.
Once you guys battle and fight it out.
That's a reality show, We'll rename it the old one that he had back in the day called Catching Kelce.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
replacing Kelce.
Yeah, it's going to be all about replacing him.
You're going to see, he's going to have all the guys go out there and say, okay, I want to see how many of y'all guys can go get 10s. Can some of y'all go get the star power I got like in the Taylor Swift? How many guys? That's the challenge. Let me see what it's going to look like. So
yeah, instead of a rose, he gives out a football.
Each week they cut down in the tight end room.
Ooh boy!
Well, draft it up, man. Go ahead.
This would have some good ratings to it.
See, you're in Los Angeles, man. We're right with script and send it out
There
over
you
there.
go.
Picture some
Nah,
people out
it
there.
must be an actor. You want to do that react? That was old. That was old, Kelsey. That was pre Taylor. He doesn't want to do reality show stuff anymore. He wants to be an actor now.
Yeah.
He's too good for reality shows now. How crazy is that?
Well, yeah, I mean, Ferkser was on and off the rotation all year last year, on and off, or just being on the roster last year. So I could see him being one of the first ones gone. Tanyan, I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, we need to see if Brinkstool can bring the pain here. But I mean, hey, he's got JD's blessings. So that's a good way to start things.
Yeah, no question about it.
I know John Marshall said his acting is horrible, by the way, but on the field, the king.
Man, it ain't that bad. His acting's not horrible. I think he does actually a pretty decent job, man. For him, they just need to let him just be him when he's out there with their own personality and stuff. Don't try to put him in a box to do certain things. Just let him be him.
You mean don't make him act?
Yeah, right. Say, hey, man, just use your personality like you just being you.
Don't put him in a box of like writing the character for him to try to be somebody.
Right. You just be you. Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost like like Vince Vaughn and those guys.
I was just gonna say like 70%. The best Vince Vaughn roles are like when he's playing himself.
Yeah. So
in Vince Vaughn's prime, if I turn on one of his movies, like the first 5 minutes, you can tell if it's gonna be like, or are they gonna ask him to act, or is he playing Vince Vaughn? And at the moment, you can tell he's trying to act like, oh man, I didn't come to see this shit. I came to see Vince Vaughn be Vince Vaughn, man.
Right.
Yeah, give Kelsey the artistic freedom to be Travis Kelsey in the movies.
Be him.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Be Trav.
There you go, guys. I mean, yeah, we really with this Brimstone thing, we kind of put a stamp on this draft as far as what we were able to accomplish in this thing. Got DT, we got OT, we got the end, running back, receiver, linebacker, and then we got our tight end here. I mean, it's just next level stuff, man. Veach, I don't want to pat ourselves in the back any more than we already have on the show, but I feel like Veach watched our show or somewhat. Pinnell mentioned they do watch our stuff, right? So Pinnell's watching it. That's only a couple of degrees away from Brett Veach, right? So like, I don't know. It's free advice.
Look, man, I know guys will sneak in and say, man, did you see what they said on who? Who said what? And they'll go check it out like, oh, man. I mean, it's just entertainment for them. They want to see the things that we got to say on here. So we got some good stuff, man. And they know that we're supporters of the Chiefs. They know how much we feel about them. You know what I mean? We ain't going to just drag guys in the mud. We don't do things like that over here. So we can be critical, but also be fair. So.
Yeah.
Thank you, baby. What did you say today? What you? Oh, she said, oh, no, she did. She said, I think some of these people look at y'all channel because of some of the comments she's seen on some other places.
100%.
Another podcast. Like that.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. I do think sometimes we do put stuff out there and other podcasts will take it and kind of spit it and make it their own thing, but that's okay.
Sorry, it's fine.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No attribution needed, I guess. This is not a Chief related thing, but my guy Baker is getting one of my guys. He's getting Desmond Watson on his team.
Are you kidding?
You knew he was going to be signed by somebody after the draft.
I think both of you guys said he probably wasn't going to get signed because of his weight.
I said he wouldn't be. I said he wouldn't be drafted.
Yeah, he had to get.
I said he'd get brought in and be like, all right, you got 68 days to lose about 80 pounds. We'll see you at training camp, kid. We'll see you at mini camp. Here's what I found. Ooh, see?
What was that? What's the one show, man? Big Rob and such. They're gonna have Baker and the big dude. They're gonna
Rob and Big.
Rob and Big. Okay, yeah. So
Baker will take care of him.
Baker can start doing those insurance commercials again with him this time.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that does it for us. I know it's Saturday night and everyone's got their thing to get to and whatnot, but we really appreciated your guys' love. We got a lot of new followers and subscribers that have jumped on in the last 3 days. I mean, I think we've grown 100 subs in the last 3 days. So welcome to everybody, all the new peeps. We've seen a lot of you new peeps in the chat as well. All of our old OG Chief Concerns Maniacs, we love you guys. We love you guys. So also support you guys to be giving us all throughout this time. And of course, all throughout the last 3 days, some late nights, Thursday, Friday, late nights. And then tonight, Saturday evening, watching our stream. We do appreciate you guys. We love you guys a lot.
Yeah, man. And y'all keep coming over. Keep telling your friends and all that, man. And tell them come get some of this goodness. Come over to a good family. Come see us. Come check us out. We're very entertaining. We're very handsome men that like talking football, right? So, we love doing it. We love doing it for you all, okay? And this is why we do it. We love doing it because of you guys. So I think is 3131 says he sees some of the things other people are talking. We've always said this. Hey, go check out other podcasters too. Go check them out as well, man. They got some good content and stuff out there. We ain't gonna hate on anybody. That's not what we do. So we're always looking to support the guys that need it. And so we just ask the same thing for us. Y'all just keep supporting us. And so we do appreciate it. All the new people that's in here, the ones that came out today to come see us again, run our mouth. I'm telling you right now, look, be excited. Be excited. Okay. This is something you should be excited about. The Chiefs got an A, and I don't care how many other people are crying, other places. 100%. We didn't get the guy while we passed on something like that. The Chiefs got what they wanted. Okay. And we absolutely got an A in this draft. It's not an A, it's a B plus in the highest. I think we was probably one of the top 5 teams as far as what we got draft wise, things we need and how we're going to make the at least the team change. Okay. Got some new faces here. So hopefully we get some of those guys on the show, start talking to them a little bit. But like I said before, man, I appreciate each and every one of y'all coming out, supporting us, and just putting your time in because we absolutely love you all. And so I know y'all love us back. So big family, man. Appreciate it. Noah John Marshall. Thank you, my man. Jeremiah DeMortos. Let me go ahead and give my little thing. You get the theme music, Marcus. Can we go ahead and put the music out?
I got to figure out some free version of it, but I will do. I think it's a nice way to spice up the ending of the show. I do like that.
It is, but I'll run through this real quick, man. Mike Brennan, Jeremiah DeMortos, Nana Sherry, I'm the Brown, Gary Holland, Sugar Special K, Ghetto Nerds, Richie Hall, Demetrio Spence, G Pick, YB Negative, Slamming Sammy Joe, Sasha, appreciate it, and coming in, Brian LaBerge, is 3131. Justin Blackwell, I'm the Brown. I think I said you already. About Time is in here. Appreciate you, About Time. Noah John Marshall, man. Y'all keep it good over that way, man. Okay. Thank you for always coming in, come checking us out. So let me see who else we got in here in the house. Drew Boucher is here. SH991 is here as well. So everybody, look, y'all go out there and just talk about the goodness that the Chiefs have, man. Y'all should be very happy with this. Pete V, Veach had done a great job. Andy, Veach, Spags, all those guys. So I can't wait till you start getting these guys in because, look, everything's going to be moving fast from this point on. So once they got this draft over with, they're getting the free agents into right here, the undrafted free agents. Then everything will start coming out together. They're going to start coming out there to Kansas City, meeting all the people and all those different things. So we got to welcome them in.
And also to our existing subscribers and anyone who's watching this, Wednesday we'll be having a Chiefs player coming on the show. Fabian Lovett will be coming on the show to talk. I mean, Pinnell was hyping him up 2 weeks ago on the show, and now Fabian Lovett will be coming on the show on Wednesday this week. So come on in and ask questions away to a defensive tackle who will be probably making some big contributions this year to the D-line.
Good deal. Good deal. Jay Gonzo, Marion Oliver in here as well. Sweetie, that's my baby. I can't never forget you. Thank you, babe. Appreciate it. Who else we got in here, man? I think Andre Chanel. Thank you. Andre Chanel. Appreciate it. Hearts and Roses is in here. Optimistic James. What's going down, man? Good seeing you here as well. Let me see who else. Jeremy Olson was another guy I seen in here. Malia Marsh was in here. And so all these new names. Hey, listen, hit a like and subscribe on our, saying everything is free, but we do like the like. Helps out with the algorithm. King Mo was in here as well. But like we appreciate you all just showing us a little love, man. Appreciate us too. So we always take it in, man. And it's never lost on us. Laura Zingzer is here in the house. I'm the Brown. Appreciate the contribution. Who else was it, Marcus? That threw us a little
Slam it, Sammy.
Slam Sammy. Appreciate the dough, brother. Appreciate the dough. Joe E. Appreciate you, Joe. I see that here. Slamming Joe. I see it right here, man. Let me see. Who else we got? I think it's Newt. Right? Newt came in. We didn't see Newt sneak in the door.
I saw him for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't troll that much today.
Oh, okay. I guess he left us alone. Newt, why? Throw us something, man. I know you got something for us. Chief is here. Rick Hendrickson here as well. Melly Matrix is here. Who else we got? Andrew Drunken German. Okay. I don't think I've seen that one before. Let me see what else we got. I think it's about it. Well, listen, hey, y'all know what it is. If I didn't get to say your name, I appreciate it so much. Thank you all for coming in. Come checking us out, like I said before. Hey, Marcus, Tage, my brothers, man, love you guys. Appreciate the hard work. Y'all guys deserve a pat on the back, A+ for all the hard work y'all have done. Okay, it's coming from your boy JD, man. Just letting y'all know, man. I appreciate everything, man.
And you too, man. You're a part of the success as well.
Thank you, man.
We all prognosticated and predicted this draft together, so that's what we do here. That's what we do here. And we hope everybody has a good weekend, and we'll see you guys Monday, where we'll grade the entirety of the draft as a whole. So we love you guys. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Love y'all.
See you.
See you guys. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.